Hello, everyone. This is Cassandra Williamson coming to you from way up in a holler in eastern Kentucky. That's how we say it around here. It's actually called Mudlick Road in Hardy. But anyway, that's where I am. And yeah, we have a good time up in here. The mountains are so close that all you have to do is just kind of, you can toss a rock either direction. You're going to hit the mountains easily, very easily. As a matter of fact, the stream in front of this house, my brother's home here, it actually has a small stream or creek in front of us, and it's ordinarily it stays in its banks, but there's about a mile of road, well, mile of holler beyond the end of the road, on up to the top of the mountains. So when it rains up in there, you can get a massive flood coming out of this road. And it really gets pretty big out of that little creek. If it gets big there, it gets big down the creek and all that, and flooding occurs. But anyway, so that's where I am up in that little holler. And there are big trees on the side of the road, and they just have one did fall this past spring, one of them, and it took out power lines and everything else in front of the house. And it took a little while for the power company to get up in here and repair everything, and then another little while to get all the internet stuff hooked back up. Anyway, so that's where I live in eastern Kentucky, up in a holler in Mudlick Road in Hardy, which is not too far from Hatfield-McCoy feud country. As a matter of fact, this is Hatfield-McCoy feud country, but the place where the hog incident occurred, that's about, I'm going to say 3-4 miles from here, maybe. If you go the other direction, you go on across that way, you end up in the place where in this 1920 they had a shootout with the sheriff, the Pinkertons, and a bunch of Union people. This has been a wild place around here. And the Tug River separates Kentucky from West Virginia in this region. It's really a very pretty spot, really very picturesque place to live and to retire to. There's not much industry around here except for ATV trail riding and all of that kind of stuff. That kind of industry, the entertainment kind of industry where you can take your ATVs, your four-wheel drive vehicles, and just go all over these mountains around here. You can rent cabins and resorts. There's stuff all over these hills. Whereas before that was not the case. It was all coal mining stuff. It used to be the heart of the $1 billion coal field here. And Williamson, West Virginia is just across the river from near here. And that's, I was born there. Family did own that 150 years ago, 150 years ago, 25, 50 years ago, something like that. So, yeah, this is all home turf, Kentucky and West Virginia. The family owned a lot of it. And then they surprisingly, they own all the minerals now for the most part. There's a lot of minerals in here, and they had tied it up and just sold the surface to people. So anyway, that's not really what I wanted to talk about, because that's how I find my peace and joy. I get out and go talk to people. I go see people. I am me 24/7. When I go out to go shopping for my mom or brother and sister, which, I'm a caregiver for them, whenever I do that, I'm out seeing people and interacting with them and engaging. And what you see or hear is what you get 24/7. And around here, it's live and let live. And that's the way it ought to be everywhere. Really, absolutely should be that way. I'm not forcing myself on them. They're not forcing their beliefs on me. We're just living and let live. And that's the best way you could possibly ever live in a free society. You have no business forcing yourself on others, and they don't have business forcing their beliefs on you either. So everybody goes around saying, we don't want to have that old LGBT stuff shoved down our throat. Well, look, I'm not opposed to your religious views, but don't come to my door knocking on it going, you need to hear about Jesus. No, I don't want you to shove it down my throat either. You're entitled to do that. Fine. Good. Go for it. Leave us alone too. But around here, got no problems with any of that. But I do want to talk about one thing that actually came out yesterday, the July 28, of 2025, Monday. This is from the United States Office of Personnel Management, okay? And this is the director. So I'm going to just share the screen because I want to talk about this just a little bit as we get into it, because this is important. This is hugely important. So let me go in and share screen. There and there. Okay, got it. Got it. All right, so right now you're looking at this memorandum from Scott Kapoor, Director, U.S. Office of Personnel Management, dated yesterday. And this is protecting religious expression in the federal workplace. I am all for that. Make it very clear. I'm all for that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I just read another story just a minute ago, and this is going out to all heads and acting heads of departments and agencies. I read a story today from West Point, the U.S. Military Academy. They are buying 1,800 Bibles that have the West Point crest on the front and putting them in the chapel. Don't have a problem with that either. Don't have a problem with that at all. That's fine. That's good. Perfectly good. Great stuff in that thing. Read it. Learn from it if you can. But here's the thing, though. This memorandum is what authorizes all that. And let's just go down through this thing. So I'm going to scroll through this memorandum with you. And you can find this thing. You can find this memorandum. You put it in chat over here somewhere. Copy. There. Put it over here in chat. Give me a second. I got to find my chat button. Right there and here. You can go read it yourself. It says can't post that message to some channels. Okay. Post anyway. All right. So I don't know where it went. Oh, it went to YouTube probably. But anyway, you can click on that link and go check it out. You can read the exact thing that I'm looking at. All right. So let's go down through here. The founders established, this is the background and purpose. Founders established a nation in which people were free to practice their faith without fear of discrimination or retaliation by their government. That also means freedom from as well as freedom to. Yeah, it does mean that. President Trump is committed to reaffirming America's unique and beautiful tradition of religious liberty. There's a whole lot of history right there that needs to be expounded upon, but this is not the show for it. Yeah, a whole lot of history going all the way back to 1609 and 1620 here in this country. Yes, indeed. A lot that has just been misrepresented. Anyway, so let me continue with what they've got here, including by directing the executive branch to vigorously enforce the historic and robust protections for religious liberty enshrined in federal law. Okay, good. Fine with that. The federal workforce should be a welcoming place for federal employees who practice a religious faith. Absolutely. Got no problem with that either. Right? As long as they're including all religious faiths and they're opening the door for all of them, not just the particular one that you enjoy. All of them. All 45,000 different recognized denominations of Christianity, 150 plus different versions of Islam, and I don't know how many different versions of the Hindu faith or the Buddhist faith or the Benai or nativists, all of those. I'm glad they just wrote it religious faith. I know that this came from the Heritage Foundation, and this is an opening salvo, and I fully expect that they're going to put in something later on that says we're not going to allow these other kind of emblems to be represented here. But, right now they're saying this, and I'm good for that. As long as people can have their crosses and crucifixes on their desks or on their door, fine. As long as there's no problem with any other religion displaying their particular iconography. Whatever. That's fine. That's perfectly legit. Okay. Federal workforce should be a welcoming place. Okay, I read that one already. Allowing religious discrimination in federal workplace violates the law. It also violates any sense of morality you might have, or justice and fairness. It also threatens to adversely impact recruitment and retention of highly qualified employees of faith. Now, that's another statement altogether. If you're hiring scientists, I think that probably ought to be the last consideration because you don't want to have that there. Okay, the First Amendment of the Constitution robustly protects expression of religious faith by all Americans. Absolutely does, including federal employees. Yes, of course. So let's go on down through here. It says the Free Exercise Clause protects not only the right to harbor religious beliefs inwardly and secretly, but also protects the ability of those who hold religious beliefs of all kinds to live out their faith in daily life. Indeed, respect for religious expression is indispensable to life in a free and diverse republic. Well, along with other things, but that's definitely important too. You can do what you want with your belief systems. Absolutely, go for it. Go for it. Freedom of religious expression is further protected by federal statutes. These statutes prohibit the federal government from discriminating in employment based on religion or religious expression. I love the way those words are laid out there. Let's go on down. All right. I'm going to skip through some parts of this place here. Agencies should allow personal religious expression by federal employees to the greatest extent possible, unless such expression would impose an undue hardship on business operations. And they should review and, if necessary, revise their internal policies to ensure that they appropriately protect religious expression. Now, this policy statement from these people, Office of Personnel Management. Okay, let's right on down the line. Let's go see. All right. Read that one. Let's go to section 2, religious expression in the federal workplace. Federal employees enjoy broad religious expression rights in the workplace. Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in employment because of an individual's religion, among other protected characteristics. Title VII does not demand mere neutrality with regard to religious practices, that they be treated no worse than other practices. Instead, it gives them favored treatment. That's debatable, because the founding fathers did not do that, didn't say that, didn't write anything about that. As a matter of fact, they expressly acted upon them not having a favored position. A little history for you. That's there. Just read it. Okay, this is necessary. Oh, wait. Instead, it gives them favor, obligating agencies not to discipline or discharge employees for their religious observance and practice. That part is true, right? Just because you're practicing your religion or your system of belief, then you can't be discriminated against. That is true. There are limits, though, like you can't shout fire in a crowded movie theater, can you? Or bomb on an airplane. You can't shout all those words, but you just, there are limits. Everything has limits. This is necessary to ensure religious persons' full participation in the workforce. Okay. Accordingly, Title VII requires employers to reasonably accommodate employees' religious observances, practices, and beliefs, unless doing so would cause an unworker's workplace is not cognizable into undue hardship inquiry. And that apparently comes from Groff 600 US at page 472. It's been cleaned up. Makes you wonder what they cleaned up. But anyway, let's go on down through here. That was that one. Title VII defines religion to include all aspects of religious observance and practice, as well as belief, not just practices that are mandated or prohibited by a tenet of the individual's faith. However, Title VII does not cover all beliefs. For example, social, political, and economic philosophies and mere personal preferences are not religious beliefs within the meaning of the statute. Well, that's debatable, because some of your personal preferences definitely do border on religious and cult-like behavior. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, now this is the part that I find really fascinating. This part that I've got in blue, I think it shows up as blue on your screen. Employees must be allowed to engage in private religious expression in work areas to the same extent that they may engage in non-religious private expression. There's a whole thing in that one sentence right there that covers a lot of territory. Agencies may, however, reasonably regulate the time, place, and manner of all employee speech, provided such regulations do not discriminate based on content or viewpoint. Then parenthetically, including religious viewpoints. Okay. So you can't discriminate based on content or viewpoint. So all of you people who are in the federal employee right now, who are working for the federal government, and if you are in the LGBT plus Q plus community, then this paragraph in that policy should cover you if you decide to put up a pride flag on your desk or a safe space emblem on your door. It should protect you from that, because look, do not discriminate based on content or viewpoint, including religious viewpoints. So if you're going to grant it to religious viewpoints, you have to grant that same kind of non-discrimination clause to everyone else, regardless of whether their viewpoint is religious or not. Agencies may require employees to perform official work while on duty. Oh, well, okay, yeah, they should require, not may, as opposed to engaging in personal religious observances. That last sentence is just hogwash. It's gobbledygook, to put it bluntly, as you say here in the hills. Hey, Jamie, I do see you're over there. To finish my little monologue part here. Categories of employee conduct which should not result in disciplinary or corrective action include, but are not limited to, display and use of items used for religious purposes or religious icons. Go on down to the next one. Expressions by groups of federal employees. Agencies should allow one or more employees to engage in individual or communal religious expressions in both formal and informal settings. Conversations between federal employees. Employees may engage in conversations regarding religious topics with fellow employees. That's a stretch, because here's the thing. You have the right that your religion is protected in terms of you can with it, you're accepted, you're not discriminated against, but you do not have the right to shove that thing down your other person's compatriot's throat, because they may not want to hear it. That evangelizing, proselytizing, that's not in this at all, but they're giving you that right to go in there in this section, in that section right there. They're giving the federal employees right to proselytize and evangelize. And I'm going to tell you something, that is grounds for a lawsuit. If an employee, federal employee, standing on this policy, protected under Title VII, comes to you and says, you need to have Christ because you got that pride flag flying right there. And that is definitely not of God. That's got to be of the devil, right? So we need to pray over you and make sure that you hear that the word of God does not approve of all that kind of thing. This paragraph allows that to occur. But it's also going to be grounds for lawsuits in a huge way, because you can't have it one way and not do it the other. So if you're going to allow these people to evangelize and proselytize and tell people you've got to be saved to get to heaven, then you're going to have to hear the same people, the other people saying, but I don't necessarily believe in all that, but I do represent the LGBT community and I'd love to invite you in because I think you'd make a great gay person. Oh, yep, that's going to be fun, right? Expressions among or directed at members of the public. An employee's fundamental rights as a private citizen of personal religious expression are not limited by the venue or here, or merely because the employee is a government employee and therefore may not be suppressed due to the religious nature of the expression. In other words, this doesn't necessarily just apply to federal employees inside the building in which they might work, but they can go outside and stand in front and say, all who enter here shall be saved before entering. And I'm going to run up there and kick the table over. Are not limited by the venue here, blah, 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 blah. However, when public employees make statements pursuant to their official duties, they are not speaking as citizens for First Amendment purposes, and the Constitution does not insulate their communications from employer discipline. Good. That part's covered. Phew. Expressions in areas accessible to the public. An employee's ability to make religious expressions in their personal capacity in areas accessible to the public should be treated in the same manner as if those expressions are made in areas inaccessible to the public, as their rights to free expression are not limited upon entering a public facility. So go ahead and hang that big pride flag on the front of the door and see how long it lasts, because these people are telling you that you can go out and prophesize and evangelize, and then in the paragraph up above, they're saying you can't discriminate based on viewpoint. They're going to have a problem. This is going to be challenged. And if not, I might do it. No, I don't have the resources to pull that off. I'd love to, though. Jeez, wouldn't I ever? I'd take them all to court over all this kind of crap, because this is so disingenuous. This whole thing is. This is copy and paste from the Heritage Foundation, the most Christian nationalist organization in the country right now. Force feeding the whole country and shoving this stuff down their throat, but they're not letting us speak. Jamie, how are you?
All right.
Yep, I got to get the right screen up here. Hold on, I've got to stop sharing. There it is. But it's good to see you, Jamie.
Did you see that picture that I had sent you about my passport, the new thing you got to sign there for your marker on your passport?
Yeah, I did. I remember seeing that. You sent me that about a week or so ago, maybe?
No, that was just today. This has a thing on there about Trump, where
okay,
it makes reference to Trump on there.
Okay. And before anyone starts jumping at us, represented right here, right now, are different political ideologies. we are different, but a lot of the same stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But let me go look, see if I can find that thing what you're talking about. Did you send it to the admin account or my personal one?
I sent it to your messenger on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook. Oh,
yeah, because I didn't know the best way to send that, but I mean that just came up today. When I got up this morning, I had the email that said that my passport was on hold. They needed further information. I called up the agency. They said they couldn't tell me. I'd have to wait for the letter to come in the mail, and that takes 7 to 10 days. So then I got a hold of the congressman in office, and she called, and they found out, what they needed. She forwarded it to me. I filled it out and sent it back to her. Hopefully sometime, before I die, I'll see my passport. But it's been since April that I've been trying to get it.
Right. Okay. So let me see. I've got it pulled up now. I want to take a look at this thing. Oh, I think somebody did send me a copy of this at one point in time.
Well, this right here is, like I said, this, I don't know if can you see this or not, where it says, where it's Trump, basically, and the law being challenged right now. I mean, what you're doing right here, to me, it seems like we're being kind of singled out on here because, I don't know, maybe they're going to round us up all later and take us out and shoot us. Who knows?
I know I have visions of the Japanese internment camps. Even though those people were American.
That's what they want to do right on here. It says my gender is different from the one of my sex. I have been diagnosed with gender dysphoria. Mm-hmm. I confirm that the following I'm applying for. I do not have a valid passport. I need to renew my current passport. I need to make changes on my passport to have my sex designation align with my gender identity to reflect my name change, or I need to
Uh-huh.
apply for another passport. I mean, all this stuff is on here that I don't recall that the last time I filled out the gender marker thing.
No, no, that was not. When I filled mine out, that was not on there at all. None of that stuff was. And this
What's
is,
your explanation why they would ask those questions?
well, for the exact reasons you were probably hinting at right there just a second ago. Let me share the screen with everybody so we can show it. This is what Jamie's talking about. It's an attestation of Orr v. Trump. So they had this lawsuit, Orr v. Trump class membership. And this is over, let me see, eligible for preliminary injunctive relief. You must submit this completed signed attestation with your application. I don't know if the judge actually included this as being a requirement for this injunctive relief or not, but I do know that what they're doing is this is an intimidation tactic. This
I think
is
so.
an intimidation tactic. They're trying to dissuade people from doing this because the judge ordered it, so they're shoving it back in his face. More than likely, the judge didn't say do this, but they're doing it anyway because they want to shove it in his or her face, and then use it later to go after all those who do have it changed and then validate them. That's what I think about it, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's what it's saying. This is an intimidation tactic to trans people, against trans people, as well as to the judge.
Yeah. I think it
I mean,
is.
this is disgusting. It's disgusting behavior, but that's what we're seeing out of this administration, and more than just one thing.
Well, it took them how long? About 3 weeks for them to be able to open it back up again after the judge, told them that they couldn't do it anymore. It took 3 weeks before I think July 7th they
But,
made it okay to apply again.
but if you remember, nearly everything, every legal case, every challenge in law that has occurred under this administration and in Trump's lifetime, what's the tactic that's always used? Delay, 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 push it out as far as you can, make it something that goes away later on down the road, keep challenging every aspect of it, make it as difficult as possible to come to a resolution. That's the modus operandi here, and that's what we're seeing with this. They're going to delay things as much as possible, shove it out, and then have to be told repeatedly, go do this now.
Right.
Jeez. And yeah, Junie, I do know Heritage Foundation is labeled as a hate group by the SPLC, and a lot of people have discounted the views of the SPLC because half the country actually thinks that they're not hateful whenever they go after trans people or any minorities, but it sure feels like it. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, the way that that's written, you've got, the radical, the Muslims, that anybody that's a non-believer for them, I mean, you kill anybody that doesn't feel the same way you do. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what you had written, what you showed written there, I mean, that should give them the same right, correct?
This policy,
Yeah, I
we're
mean,
talking. Yeah, yeah.
about them being able to put their beliefs on you.
Hmm. Absolutely. I mean, there should be
It,
no
does, it
holds
doesn't say
barred.
only Christians.
Right. It doesn't say any particular religion, but we do know where it came from, and we kind of can suppose and guess and guesstimate that this is where they're headed. Because every time they always do this, they'll lay out one policy, get that one out there just long enough to have it being felt by the agencies and the departments and the people across the country, or academia or the military, whatever. They'll do these policies like this, and then give it a couple of months, and they'll go back in and do things and make it even worse.
Right.
They always change it. I mean, this is just the first step in a series of actions that's coming.
Yeah.
That's all. That's the way it works every time. At least that's what I experience. I don't know how about you, but that's the way it works for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this is horrible. And then also, like you were saying on that for me, well, no, not that one. Facebook over here. Yeah, let me see if I can download that and get a better image of it. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing, and you can see me again. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta fix my hair. Come on.
Oh, there's another place.
So let me see. Let me see if I can find the downloaded version of this thing and pull it up from there. Image of it, though. Yeah. Full screen. See if I can increase. Oh, wait, there we go. Maybe that'd be easier for everybody to see. Let me share screen again, everyone. I'm so glad everyone's here watching. I do appreciate you watching and even jumping in and making comments. I mean, even if we disagree on a comment or disagree on something that you might say, that's fine. Say it. I'm not shutting any opinion or viewpoints out. I don't believe in that.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying on that yet. I'm kind of adding fuel to the fire. So,
No, well, that's fine. But anyone else out there who's let me see, we've got people over on X, 4 people from X, several people, 1 person from Facebook and 1 person from YouTube. But I know we have a lot of drive-by viewers too. They don't click on that and they just watch us. So, with subterfuge in mind. But anyway, so that's what's on the screen. That's what Jamie brought to our attention just a minute ago, this attestation form. And it is a form of intimidation. Is that what you get too, Jamie?
yeah, I think that it is. I mean, it's basically, I think in the scheme of things, it's belittling you. I mean, because it said, if you fall into one of these groups, we want to know about it. I looked over that and made sure that the only thing they want you to mark is what it's what you want on your passport. But I mean, they go down to the list of things that covers everything there, and that kind of groups you together. Like I said, I don't know if they're collecting up a group of names for people doing this or not.
Yeah, well, we know what history is about all this stuff. We know the history.
Yeah.
We know how things have worked, not just here, but in the past in other places. So we're very familiar with all of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we've been at this 32 minutes and just yelling. For those of you who are interested, I did post some videos on Facebook that are just me traveling around, driving different roads here in eastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia. You can see places like Buskirk, Kentucky, or Blackberry, Kentucky. There's also a Blackberry City, West Virginia, just across the river, and Matewan, West Virginia. And check it out. I mean, just see what's around. You can see that it is vibrant. And if you want to invest in this area, please do. Come on in. We don't mind. We do ask you to leave your ideologies at the door. No, no. Because here's why I say that with a sense of humor about it, because I came up here to Kentucky from Alabama to help my mom, brother, and sister with their caregiving needs. I need to be here for them. I do the medicines and fix the food and try to clean things up as best as possible, and and make sure the bank is all taken care of and all of this kind of stuff. I've been doing that now since December of 2023. And the thing that strikes me about this place is just that it is a live and let live kind of place. I have been out in this community. I talk to people all the time right here in this little road. And I'll tell you, it's a good place. So with that in mind, check out some of those videos and just see what the place is like. It's very vibrant around here right now with all the greens. I'll get some more out there. There's quite a few on the YouTube channel now. Anyway, Jamie, do you have anything you'd like to say in closing?
I sent you a better copy on Messenger. I found that the file that I had downloaded, that should be a whole lot clearer. I don't know if you can, put that up for everybody to see.
Yeah, let me do that right now. I'm going to download that one really quickly. Go over here. We're going to pull up a better copy of the attestation page that Jamie sent to us. Let me get my download section.
That's an actual scanned copy that I scanned, I printed, and I actually had it signed because I had another page that I had to sign it. And,
Okay. All right. So here is that thing that attestation page in a much clearer format. So I'll share that for everyone to get a chance to take a look at it. And this is a recorded session too, by the way. All of these events are recorded, so you can watch them whenever you want to. So there it is. There it is. That's much better. Oh, thank you. So that's, if you read down through that thing, that's why I call this intimidation.
yeah.
I mean, what else is it?
Absolutely.
They're reluctantly abiding by the judge's rule, so they're going to intimidate everybody involved in the process. C'est la vie au Chateau en Montagne, huh? Right here in these mountains, beautiful place. All right.
Yeah.
Have a great evening, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Come back tomorrow around 1-ish. I don't think I have any pressing engagements. I say 1-ish on weekdays. That's 1-ish Eastern, because I never know what I'll have to actually go do. So it could be earlier or a little later. Today is at 12:30 Eastern. But anyway, have a great evening, everyone. I got to check on everyone. It's time for the evening meds run. Meds cart going around.